What if I tell you we can kill enemies with one finger? No, not my finger pressing a button. Like the Warframe herself kills enemies with one finger. What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a ability nuke Citrine using her own abilities. Oh yeah, this was actually quite a funny incident. I was trying to do some new melee influence shenanigans, but then I was like, here, let me prime some of these enemies with my first and third ability. But then I ended up nuking them.
Wait, Citrine? Actually, no. F melee. Citrine nuke? Actually? Now we need to just give her a roar. Okay, boys. We're changing the build. We're changing the build, boys.
So I just kept on going with one finger. Not my finger again. Believe it or not, there's a lot of things you can do with one finger. Don't lose hope, guys. Anyway, so I ended up putting some green shards on her and using Archon continuity, finding some use for that mod. But then I realized I'm killing them way too quickly for me to even have the green shards on. So I changed things up a bit. This is the one finger nuke Archon Citrine. She is actually using 3 Archon mods, which is pretty damn cool. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, let me guess, it's an armor stripping build. Actually, no, it's not even an armor stripping build. My Helminth ability is Roar. I like how they still haven't changed the description for Roar. This ability is a universal damage multiplier, meaning it affects weapons and abilities. Of course, for weapons, it functions like a Bane mod, a faction damage mod, and you double the damage for your abilities. But then, the synergy here. So let's check out how am I nuking with one finger. Well, for one, Fractured Blast has Citrine whip one finger at enemies, stagger them, and also bleed them because it deals slash damage. But the best part about this ability is that it marks enemies. Enemies who die have a chance to drop health and energy orbs. Of course, health orbs has a higher drop chance. And then we have Prismatic Gem. This has me do 4 base elements, and it triggers on any type of attack. So Fractured Blast can trigger Prismatic Gem. Prismatic Gem deals the 4 elements, as I said. So heat and electric are my main damaging DOTs, and with the toxin procs, I'm able to get corrosive procs thanks to Archon continuity, which is a slight armor strip, but the enemies die so fast you don't even freaking notice that armor strip. And for my defenses, I do have Preserving Shell. This is an AoE damage reduction, and with Citrine's passive, you know, she's able to top herself up. Since I'm getting a bunch of health orbs, I'm healing over time with her passive, and I'm just nuking enemies. But there is a downside to this build. It's not necessarily a mobile build. There is some stationary placement, since Prismatic Gem doesn't move with you. In the beginning, I opted to add so much range. I had about 40 meters on Prismatic Gem, and that was a bit too much because I wasn't reaching enemies that far. So I toned it down a bit. We got 26.25 meters, and Fractured Blast has 24 meters. So anything within range of this gets shredded. And another great thing about Prismatic Gem is that it goes through walls. That is my favorite part about this ability. Now, for consistent, and now to help me with the consistency of getting enemies to that area, I am using Nautilus, aka Cordon. Pretty sure all of you know Cordon by now. It is a mod that does some radial sucking within 30 meters, but it has a 15-second cooldown. But thanks to a special mod called Manifold Bond, I'm able to reduce that cooldown. But there's a catch. I need 3 or more status effects present on an enemy before they die for it to reduce the cooldown. Citrine is able to do slash, impact, toxin, electric, cold, corrosive. This is always sucking up enemies. And of course, assault mode paired with Manifold Bond, I get some status effects proccing as well, paired up with my weapon, the Hellstrom. This primes with viral and radiation, just some added survivability. Viral is a debuff on enemies, so my slash finger, I don't know why I'm doing that, the slash finger you know, is able to deal a bit more damage. And of course, radiation is to debuff enemies. so they attack me less. And the best part is the electricity and heat damage also CCs them, and cold procs also CC them. Now there's a downside, and I wish DE could fix this, and it's Thrax units. Why are Thrax units so annoying? When you kill Thrax units, by the way, you shred them. I'm just saying, since they get cold proc, it slows down their spirit form. Why? Why? They're already spirit form. Why are they affected by status effects? Please, come on. Now for the Archon shards, I did originally have 2 green shards for the armor strip on corrosive procs, but then I found it was not even needed. So I replaced it with casting speed shards. I'm pairing up these casting speed shards with Materai. So to give me 100%, actually, since I have 1 Tau Forge, really, you don't need the Tau Forge shards. It's a lot of casting speed because it makes the one really fast. Actually, one of the fastest abilities. Don't mind that. And some blue shards for energy maximum. This is just to increase my energy pool since I won't use any energy mods on my build itself. There were so many replacements back and forth that I did put here and there just to make this build as strong as it is right now. And there's also a synergy boost thanks to the Favonius Codex right here, the Grimoire. I just renamed it to the Fav Codex. Shockingly enough, I'm not using this as an energy buffing tool, but as a strength buffing tool. Haha. Yes, let's have a look at the build real quick. So your usual multi-shot, fire rate, AoE, expansion, viral, but take a look at VOM. Invocation. The alternate fire increases my ability strength by 4% for 20 seconds. This stacks up to 15 times, which is a 60% strength increase, which is another layer of Molt augmented. So every 20 seconds, we get 60% strength. It's almost like growing power, but with a timer. That's about it. And this is just here. You don't really see much of this, and plus you don't need it with Citrine because of her first ability and all the friggin' health energy orbs that she drops. At one point, I was sitting at 3,000 energy income. I was gaining way more energy than I was spending. And you notice I'm on negative efficiency. I was getting way more energy than I was spending on a negative efficiency build. I just want you to think about that. Let's go into Steel Path to show you how this build actually works. Okay, here we are in Steel Path Titan, which is on Saturn. I know, just a change of scenery, because usually I showcase it in Lua Conjunction or sometimes in Mod Survival. So we're doing a little bit of Grenier. Those poor guys are not going to like what they're going to say. My focus school, as I said, is Materai, so I'll be doing 2 Void Slings every time I cast my Roar and Prismatic Gem, and that buff lasts for 20 seconds. And these abilities already have a pretty long duration, so that's like every minute. Of course, paired alongside Sling Strength, I will use the Tome just to get 60% additional strength. Oh, perfect. So I'm gonna drop my Tome here, watch it tick away. 24. Do my Void Slings, Roar, Prismatic Gem. There we go. Look at all this energy. It's so stupid. I love it. And of course, I'm shooting the Tome here and there just to charge it up as fast as possible. Do a couple of Void Slings, use my second ability for some defenses. And I'm also going to do at least 1 transference to give me 50% casting speed, which is added on to my yellow shards. Oh, they're stuck down here. Look how fast they're dying, just from DOTs. Alright, so I'm going to throw my Tome again. Hopefully it hits them properly. Because sometimes it just bounces off and goes somewhere else. And recast my Roar. Prismatic Gem. Yeah, look at that. Bleeds and all those status effects. Beautiful. Yes. Eximus unit hiding. Alright, Eximus unit dead. You see how it goes through walls? Amazing. Let me just recast my 2, just from some added defenses. And this thing also shreds acolytes. Look at that. Look how fast they die. Look how big our roar is. 150. Beautiful. Oh, my freaking hand is getting tired. All right, here comes the acolyte. Gonna do a little trick here. Use Nora Knight to skip, just to bring him out faster. All right, here's Acolyte. Look at how the Acolyte gets shredded. Oh my god. Let's go back to the arsenal to show you how this Citrine is actually built. All right, here we are. We're back in the arsenal. You already know what the abilities do, the little synergy, and you saw the little showcase in Steel Path. From that run that we did, we had 171 KPM. That was just the showcase. Usually it's a bit higher, but still, that's quite impressive for just a one finger build. So with all that aside, let's have a look at the Citrine build. In the aura, we got growing power. Proccing a status effect with your weapon, unfortunately not abilities, gives you 25% additional strength. Prime sure-footed, spending less time on your butt is a huge DPS increase. If you don't have this, replace it with handspring or pain threshold, depending on, what enemies you're fighting. But for the people who have time machines, good on ya. Archon stretch and augur reach for my range. This gives me 26.25 meters on prismatic gem and 24 meters on but it's actually it does slash damage. It's fine. Archon vitality. Usually you would put like adaptation here or whatnot, but I put Archon vitality. This, of course, gives me health, but heat is applied twice. And yes, prismatic gem burns enemies even faster thanks to Archon vitality. Archon strength, tickle enemies with electric abilities, gives you some energy regen, Archon continuity, proc toxin, and you get corrosive status effect, not the corrosive damage. This is why I say this is useless on other frames, especially Mesa. Stop it. Get some help. These corrosive status effects provides me a little bit of armor strip. That's why it's a pure ability build and it's not for weapon DPS. Modded strength is at 223% thanks to blind rage and augur secrets. But of course we have conditional strength boosts from growing power and molt augmented. This is 60% strength, this is 25% strength, Materai is 40% strength, and the Tome is 60% strength, but we also have Precision Intensify. Unfortunately, you cannot run this alongside Umbral Intensify or other Intensify mods, but it gives you 90% ability strength for your fourth ability, which is Roar. But if you don't have this, just use Umbral Intensify, it's fine. You're not missing out that much. This is just a nice buff on Roar, so I could deal more damage with my other abilities. Equilibrium converts Health Orb into energy and energy to health. That's why we have abundant amount of energy. You could, if you want to do funnies, replace Equilibrium with Archon Flow, and replace these shards for other things. But since this is not the only Citrine build I'm using, since these other ones depend on that specific Archon shard loadout, that's why I have them there. It's not that great, it's kind of cope, but if you want to have some full Archon Citrine, you could do that actually. Otherwise, the build works just fine. As you saw, we're killing enemies like crazy. And finally, molt efficiency for some added duration. This is to upkeep Roar and Prismatic Gem. That's my main things I want to have the longest. The 2s are castable, very easy. Yes, the 3s are castable. I wanted to have the larger boost then and there. But yeah, folks, this is the one finger, bonding finger, Citrine Nuke, using her abilities and having Cordon radio suck them into death. I highly advise you to try it out. It is actually fun. It's stupid, but it's so fun. Again, not everybody has fun this way, but for the people who found this interesting and intriguing, do try it out. Anyway, folks, that has been it for me. I do hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.